Drunken Pop, we're diving deep. The memories we swore to keep. Unfiltered tales that'll make you leap. Into your past we boldly leap. CNBC speaks of games and dreams, old cartoons and backyard schemes. Nostalgia hit like a mighty wave. In this show, we misbehave. Double days with pockets full, bringing tales that always pull. Step heads, cackles with a glance, unleashing legends from our trance.
Pow! Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Drunken Pop. I'm your host, TJ Stevens. Joining me, as always, Dolla Bill Dave's here.
What up, y'all? Off vacation.
Timmy C looks like shit.
Yeah, Timmy's getting old.
This is new.
Timmy's being replaced by Pondwater Dave this week because Timmy is on vacation. Isn't that fun? Guess what I'm going in 2 weeks?
Timmy C came to my house today.
Would it be vacation?
Yeah, I'm going on vacation. Kids are done with school. How was that?
Breakfast at my house
Yeah.
was great, except for Carson kept wanting to go on a golf cart ride. Let me drive your golf cart.
Not a chance.
No.
No chance on that
Driving
happening.
my golf cart. You high? But no, it was good. It was good to see Timmy and Sarah and Jonathan and Carson. We had a good time.
Good. So this is not going to be your normal Drunken Pop, which honestly we haven't had one in what seems to be weeks. This is just us getting together and shooting the breeze, sort of. And we got a lot to talk about here over the last few weeks. Where do you guys want to start?
Let's start with hitting my clip.
Oh, I was not prepared for that.
Hollywood secrets in the air. Everyone will play their share. Dave's Faves is the name. Movie trivia is the game.
We get a piece of paper out here.
Piece of paper and pencil, Pondwater. Let's go. It's movie time. Dave's Faves. Have you seen it? Pondwater's muted, big dummy.
Said I don't need a pencil. I use a pen because I don't make mistakes and have to erase anything.
There you go.
I think
Pen.
it's
Here we
that.
go. 5 movies like always. We just threw this together super random. All of a sudden, right now, best movies of 2004.
Okay.
Here we go. With a budget of $30 million.
Waterworld.
In 2004?
That was 1996.
It was way over 30 million. Go ahead.
Movie number A grossed $612.1 million at the box office.
It's pretty good.
This is an American epic biblical drama film.
I already think I know what this is.
This film depicts the final 12 hours in the life of Jesus of Nazareth on the day of his crucifixion in Jerusalem. This film stars Monica Bellucci, Jim Caviezel, and other people.
You say Belushi?
Bellucci, Monica Bellucci.
Is she related to Jim?
Yeah.
Illegitimate daughter.
Oh.
I don't know, but
I
it's
don't
Belushi. Pondwater, go.
That'd be the last temptation of Christ.
What?
What?
What is that? What did you write Independence Day first?
Well,
Thought you don't make mistakes, Pondwater.
I did. I crossed it out.
That's remembered. Independence Day. This guy.
Well, I didn't know if we were like scoring on time or anything. So
The Last Temptation of Christ. Incorrect. TJ Stephens.
Passion of the Christ.
Passion of the Christ.
Oh.
TJ Stevens 1. Pondwater -3.
Yeah, for sure.
Here we go. Movie number 2. Bear with me. I just messed up. Clicked the wrong thing.
That happens.
Going back. Movie number 2. Now I got to find the shit. Okay, here we go.
We're professionals.
Fudge balls. Hold on.
Oh boy.
Got it. Boom. Here we go. Movie number 2 with a budget of $80 million. Movie number 2 grossed $522.7 million at the box office.
It's pretty good. It's getting it.
This is an American romantic comedy film. All hell breaks loose when the Burns family meets the Fokker family for the first time. This film stars Robert De Niro, Ben Stiller, Dustin Hoffman, Barbara Streisand, Blythe Danner, and Terry Polo. I've seen her boobies.
I've got nipples. Greg, can you milk me?
Pondwater Dave, let's go.
meet the Fockers.
There you go. Meet the Fockers. TJ Stephens.
Meet the Fockers.
Meet the Fockers. 2 for 2. TJ leads 2-1. Movie number 3. Bear with me. Got to find it. Got to find it. Here we go. With a budget of $100 million. Movie number 3 grossed $347.5 million at the box office.
I'll take that.
This is an American action adventure heist film.
Okay.
This film is one of Dave's faves. Booyakasha. A
That's not a thing.
historian races to find the legendary Templar treasure before a team of mercenaries. This film stars Nicolas Cage, John Voight, Diane Kruger, and Justin Bartha.
I know the movie.
Can we get copyrighted for that?
Not for you whistling it, I don't think.
I'm just sitting here visualizing the movie poster, trying to get the name.
Oh, I know the first part of it. I don't know the rest of it.
You give me the first part, I'll give you the second part.
Pondwater Dave, go.
You don't know any of it.
It's
Nicolas Cage over X.
you got to write something down. Them's the
You're real
rules.
good at this game. Let me give you an example. So I know it's National Treasure. I don't know which one. So I put National Treasure 2, Hunt for the Red October, because I don't know what the fuck the rest of it's called. National Treasure.
Pondwater gets it. National Treasure
That was the first one?
1.
Wow. I thought that was like the second or third one.
And the second one is National Treasure Book of Secrets.
Mm.
And then they made a TV show on Disney Plus, but I never watched it because I heard it was shits and it didn't get renewed for season 2.
They should not have done that.
So sad. Movie number 4 with a budget. 2004, y'all. With a budget of $20 million.
Oh.
This film grossed $168.4 million at the box office.
Okay.
This is an American sports comedy film. This film is one of Dave's absolute faves.
Oh, this is a top 3.
Here we go. A group of misfits from average Joes enter a Las Vegas tournament in order to save their cherished local gym from the onslaught of a corporate health fitness chain. Film stars Vince Vaughn, Ben Stiller, Christine Taylor, and Rip Torn.
Christine Taylor, fire in this movie.
Yes. And she's bisexual in this movie.
Ben Stiller, well, happy Pride Day to her. Ben Stiller was having a hell of a year this year.
2004 was huge for Ben Stiller. Dave, go.
That's going to be Dodgeball.
That's wrong.
Incorrect.
Oh.
TJ.
Dodgeball, an underdog story.
Incorrect.
What?
Dodgeball, a true underdog story.
Fuck off.
Fuck off.
Globo Gym does not win. Spoiler alert.
No one makes me bleed my own blood.
Last movie of the week. Got to scroll way down. Where did it be?
I'll accept that because I should really got National Treasure, but I did.
You should have got Passion of the Christ.
I thought it was I only knew that there was one movie about Jesus that did any good. I thought it was Last Temptation of Christ.
Well, you put Independence Day first.
Okay, remember 2004, y'all.
Okay.
On a budget of $400,000.
Oh,
Indie Film Jones.
Movie number 5 grossed $46.1 million at the box office.
it's not terrible. I didn't have high hopes.
Somebody got a second job.
This is an American independent coming-of-age comedy film. A listless and alienated teenager helps his new friend win the class presidency in their small Western high school while dealing with his bizarre family life back home. This film stars John Heder, John Grice, Aaron Rule, and Efren Ramirez.
Make yourself a dang case of Dilla.
Pond water.
Napoleon Dynamite.
My man, TJ Steppins.
Napoleon.
There you go. You have it. Napoleon Dynamite. That has been Dave's faves. Have you seen it? Just because we haven't done it in a while.
We haven't. Oh, shit. So, where do we want to go? There's a lot to discuss. We got baseball. We're headed in right in the prime of the season right now. The Colorado Rockies, 9 wins so far, so that's something.
50 losses, third fastest to 50 ever.
We thought the White Sox were the worst team last year ever, and the Rockies are like, hold on,
hold our beers.
Get it? Well,
is that why Boulder got attacked today?
Who?
Boulder terrorist attack?
Yeah,
that happened.
A pro-Hamas guy threw Molotov cocktails at pro-Israeli protesters.
Oh.
And it's all on film.
The people in Colorado are way too mellow to get upset about baseball.
Apparently. Wow. I didn't
Man, that's
know that.
horrible.
Yeah.
Glad they got it all on video, though.
Yep.
Anywho.
But yeah, Colorado Rockies are the laughing stock of professional sports. And this brings me to my belief. You want to make American sports better? You got to start doing like they do over in Europe with their soccer leagues.
Demote them?
Relegating people?
You relegate the shit teams out. And you got to start winning to get back in.
Well,
I agree, but in this day and age, when everybody gets a trophy crowd, they're never going to do that.
Here's what I agree with it in a way, but you can't do that because minor league teams are assigned to other teams.
Assigned to in Major League Baseball teams. So the only real sport they could do is football.
Right.
But there's no minor league football system that's worth a shit.
Right.
Is UFL even still going?
Well, maybe they could make the Rockies go play in the new women's softball league.
I mean, here's the thing. The Rockies have some good prospects on their team, But when you're on a team of garbage, it's really hard to develop. And I'll go a step further. And the Rockies became a team in 1993 with the Marlins. And I think my solution to this issue, if Major League Baseball truly gave a shit, which I don't think they do, if you think that this is just a team mailing it in, because that's what it is, tell the owner, hey, next year you have to get X amount of wins or you're going to sell the team.
Yes. There you go.
Because this is how bad the Rockies are. Now, this was a couple weeks ago when I was talking to Tim about it, but every team in the NL West has a winning record except the Rockies, and that's probably because they've lost 50 games.
You want to hear something weird? I just looked this up. Colorado Rockies and the Miami Marlins / Florida Marlins both came to MLB in 1993.
Yep.
The winning percentage for the Miami Marlins, 459. They are 20. They're 2,325 and 2,742.
But they have 2 World Series, which they bought both of them.
Right. The Colorado Rockies, at the same time, winning percentage, 459. They have a record of 23-30. Miami Marlins were 23-25 and 27-48.
Now,
42.
I also think the Marlins ownership group is shit. But again, they do have 2 World Series. And in the Marlins' defense, well, I guess you could say it for the Rockies too. The Marlins play in a traditionally good division in the NL East. And granted, the Rockies play with the Padres, the Dodgers, and the Diamondbacks have resurged the last few years.
And the Giants have a World Series in the last
that's
few
true.
years.
Well, they won 3 in the 2010s, but
yeah,
that's there. But there's a difference between struggling because every team is better than you in your division, and then there's just not trying. And that's the Rockies.
So,
and for the most part,
Colorado
usually
Rockies,
it's the Marlins.
Colorado Rockies have 9 wins.
That's
the next
impossible.
worst. The next worst is the
White
Chicago White Sox with 18.
And that's a shame the White Sox have become what they are, because they're one of baseball's cornerstone teams, and they've been largely shit since
they won the World
7
Series.
years. Yeah, and that was in
2005. Yeah.
And they just again, it's a shame. Like if you're going out of your way as an owner to not spend money on contracts just so you can make money off the team, you should have to sell the team. Especially, and this isn't saying anything negative about Denver, Colorado, or Miami, but when you have a team like the White Sox, again, who have been around for over 100 years, that shouldn't be allowed. Like, the White Sox are one of those teams where the league is better when the White Sox are good. The league is better when the Red Sox are good, and the Orioles and the Yankees. And I hate the Yankees, for the record, but the Houston Astros I'd put in that.
The Tampa Bay Rays became a baseball team 5 years after Miami and Colorado.
Yes.
They're 105 games back from matching them for win total.
Over 6 seasons. That's 16. It's almost 1,000 games.
That's crazy.
That's stupid, is what it is. And again, the Diamondbacks have won a World Series, and they've been to another one.
Yeah.
Well, Texas Rangers have won one in 55 years.
Well, again, there's
at least the Rays haven't won any, but they've been to 2.
Right. And the Rangers, again, they're in a good division. They have been even before the Astros joined it.
Well, yeah, the American League West used to be it.
Well, in the 90s, you had the Mariners. Good luck getting past that. And then in the 2000s is when the Angels, pre-Mike Trout, showed up with David Eckstein and Tim Salmon and Jim Edmonds and all those guys. And Troy Gloss, who does not get his fair share. Darren Erstad.
Pronounce Salmon.
And in the 2010s is when they got Trout, and they've been good but not good enough.
What's with all the fish? Salmon, trout.
Yeah.
When's Flounder playing? Fred Flounder.
there used to be a guy named Bass, but I can't remember his name. But the Rangers have been in a tough division, and again, the Rangers have not gone through a prolonged period of just being embarrassing. They're at least competitive every year, but this is not the first time the Rockies have just been abysmal. This is just the most egregious.
Yeah, the Rays were embarrassing 10 years, their first 10 years as a franchise.
Oh, yeah.
And then since then, so for the last 17 years, they've been respectable. They've had a couple down years.
Yeah.
And they're a small market team.
Yeah.
Low budget, but they do it right.
The Rays with no payroll.
Get it done.
Yeah.
I mean, they've won like 11 of their last 14 games.
I mean, look at the Pirates and the Royals. Granted, the Pirates were in the World Series in 15. The Royals won it in 16. But other than those two blip years, those two teams are largely atrocious. And again, they're baseball's two historical teams, but they're largely garbage.
This year, the Royals 31-29.
That's because they got Bobby Witt Jr. and that dude's a stud.
Pirates 22-38. They're pathetic every year.
Yeah, and they got Paul Skeens and another guy coming up as a pitcher, but they can't hit. They can't hit to save their lives.
And pretty much all 22 wins are Paul Skeens already.
Yep. I mean that's. But when you're in a sport that you can't relegate teams, again, if they truly cared about competitiveness, which I don't think they do, meaning the commissioner and the owners, hey, next year you have to get X amount of wins. You're selling the team because this is embarrassing. But it'll never happen.
No, 9 wins in 59 games.
I don't know.
That's horrendous. And it's
like
baseball. I'd like to think that you could put one of the top minor league teams in there and they could win 9 out of 59.
Oh, I believe that for a fact. Yes.
This isn't college football playing in the NFL.
Right.
You know, but your top teams in Major League Baseball should be able to hang.
I would like to think if I played on the Rockies or the White Sox right now, I'd be like, either trade me or I'm retiring. Because this ain't what I signed up for.
No,
yeah.
Ridiculous.
Losing sucks.
You guys want to go over the division leaders?
Let's do it.
AL and the NL. So right now the AL East, the Orioles, surprising, is 22-36. They're in the basement of the AL East.
And they were predicted to make the playoffs this year. They were predicted to be second.
Some people were predicting them to go to the World Series.
Yeah.
And I wasn't one, but I was in the boat. I wouldn't have been shocked either. Red Sox 29-32, Rays 30-29, Blue Jays 31-28, Yankees 35-22. They are 5 games up right now on the Blue Jays, but the Orioles have won 6 out of the last 10. So
Didn't the Red Sox play the Braves this weekend?
Did they? Is that who Chris Sale got his 25?
Yeah, they did. Red Sox won today 3-1, lost 5-0 yesterday, and won 5-1 on Friday. So
yeah,
they
my
won
daughter,
2 out of 3.
My daughter and my son-in-law went to the game yesterday. It was the first time my daughter's seen the Red Sox lose.
AL Central, the White Sox are in the basement to the surprise of no one. They're 18-41. On the road, at home, they're almost 500. They're 12-15. On the road, 6-26. Lort. Royals 31-29. Twins 31-27. The Guardians 32-26. The Tigers are 39-21. AL West, the A's.
Detroit is killing it right now.
Really, they're really young and they're going to be good for a long time if they can keep this team together. The AL West, speaking of a team that should be relegated, the Athletics are 23-37.
Good.
Hey, again, another one of Major League Baseball's historic franchises. They've been trash for over 15 years.
Yeah, I wish they'd been trash when I was 15 years old.
The Angels 26-32. They just got Mike Trout back. The Rangers 29-31. Astros 32-27. The Mariners leading the division by half a game, 32-26. But Astros 7-3 in their last 10. The Mariners 4-6. So the Astros catching them. Let's over to the National League. The Rockies, would you believe this, are in the bottom of the NL West at 9-50.
A winning percentage of 153.
That is trash. They
are already through 59 games. Through 59 games, they are 27 and a half games back.
Yes, they are 19 games behind the fourth place team, Arizona, 28-31. San Francisco 33-26, San Diego 33-24, the Dodgers 36-22. The NL Central, your Pirates, 22-38. They're 7 games back of Timmy's Cincinnati Reds. The Brewers 32-28. Cardinals, which by the way, the Cardinals were terrible last year. They're in second right now, 4 games back of the Cubs at 33-26, and your Chicago Cubs 37-22, and they have won 8 of their last 10. Just smoking people right now. NL East. Now, granted, we did have a 3-for against the Rockies in there too. Marlins 23-34. Braves, how about this? 27-31. They're in 4th.
Injuries.
The Nationals.
Injuries.
They're a half a game below the Nationals at 28-31. Phillies 36-23. Your Mets are leading the division 37-22, and the Mets are 8-2 in their last 10. The Mets are getting it together. So there's your standings for right now.
Can I jump in with breaking news?
Yeah.
Oh. That's
We had just
you got to turn it back off.
we have just crossed the 5,900 subscriber. We're at 5,901. We are
What?
99 away from 6,000.
We still need to do our thank you to 2,500 and do.
We never did our thank you for 2,000.
I know we're waiting on Blackjack Brawl.
And
None
while you
of
were
us
doing
have
box
been.
scores, I was writing music, and I now have the Mark Out Moments channel song.
Oh,
I don't
Let's
have the video
Let's
ready
debut
yet.
it. Let's debut it right here. What an awesome guitar riff.
that's really good.
Mark out moments, light the flame. Talking wrestling fuels the game. Pond water laughs, same it shines. Drunken pop, they cross the lines. Mark out moments, here we go. Catch the vibe, let the stories flow. From the ring to the mic, they bring the heat. Mark out moments can't be beat.
That's where I'll cut it.
I like that.
I like it.
But there,
I'm in.
but there is another verse. There are 2 more verses.
Wrestling tales with a twist. Legends live in moments missed. Pond waters grin, Amy spark. Drunken pop ignites the dark. Mark out moments, here we go. Catch the vibe.
All right, enough of that. But
Drunken Pop ignites the dark.
yeah, I mean, AI writes it, and I thought,
Why? What are you doing? Don't say that.
no, I'm just saying that I thought it was funny that they got me laughing, and they knew that they said something about Amy, and then that y'all crossed the line, and I'm like,
We
I
do.
didn't really describe the shows.
We do that a lot.
But that's perfect. That's us.
It's
That's what we
the
do on
hardest
Drunken
part's
Pop,
getting the
right here on
music.
markoutmoments.net.
That's .net.
We couldn't get .com, so we got .net.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's true. Markoutmoments.com mistaken.
Marked out moments.
CA.
CSInet.com.
We're Canadian.
Speaking of sports, let's stick with sports. The NBA Finals is now set. It's your Indiana Pacers against the Oklahoma City Thunder, which it's the age-old question of, you got 2 small market teams. The league wants 2 big market teams. You have the Knicks. They choked. So you got Indiana and Oklahoma City. And I was curious of because I've said it on the Drunken Pop before. I think the small market argument is bullshit. To me, as long as you have captivating players, that's all you need. And so I've pulled up the top 10 most watched NBA Finals ever. Spoiler alert: Jordan was in 6 of them. So, do you want to hear the top 10 most viewed NBA Finals of all time?
All right, let's go. And then we'll talk about the odds.
Number 10 is the Cavaliers and the Warriors from 2017. Warriors won that in 6. It was on average watched by 20.4 million people. Number 9. How about this for a small market team? The Bulls, not small market, but they played the Trailblazers from Portland. Bulls won that in 6, 28.8 million. That was in 1992. 89 Lakers and Pistons. Pistons won in a sweep. 88 Lakers and Pistons. Lakers won that in 7. 91 Lakers and Bulls. 87 Celtics and Lakers. Only one Lakers Celtics series made the top 10. That was 87.
Wow.
4 Bulls and the Supersonics. 3 Bulls and the Jazz from 97. 2 Bulls and the Suns from 93. And number 1 Bulls and the Jazz from 98. So Jordan, LeBron, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Isaiah Thomas, Steph Curry. Again, I think if they have captivating players, I don't think it matters what team they play for. I think the big market thing is overplayed and overvalued, and it's how we get to teams like the Colorado Rockies existing. Thoughts?
Man, I like the small market teams.
I do too.
I
I think
hate
most
that it's
people
all
do.
Like it drives me nuts. We don't need LA and New York in every freaking finals of all the sports.
I agree.
Right? So I'm more intrigued to see 2 teams that don't have a championship.
Right.
And like I liked it. It was nice when LeBron James finally made the finals with his first year with Miami Heat.
Right.
They played Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Everybody
they did.
was on the Heat and got beat.
They sure did.
Right.
Beat them like they stole something.
And then going back and then you see, like we'll talk about here. Kansas City's not like a major market team, but
that's the argument I make. Yeah.
They're the NFL. They're the face of the NFL right now.
Right.
Even you talk about New England Patriots. They had their dynasty. Now, granted, they're
Boston.
They don't play in Boston, but
no, they don't. They play in
Foxborough. But I like seeing teams like Green Bay. I mean, they're a huge market team, or not a huge market. They're a big, overall sports franchise, but not a big market team. So I like that stuff. I'd like to see the Orlando Magics and all that. And, to me, you had, granted, Texas Rangers are out of Dallas or Arlington or wherever the shit.
Arlington, yeah.
Halfway between Dallas and Fort Worth.
They're in the World Series a couple years ago. But see, I don't give a shit about the market size. If my team's not in it, I look forward to seeing teams that have never won it get a chance to win a ring.
I mean, the number
guaranteed a first-time NBA champion this year.
Cleveland and Golden State. It's Cleveland and San Francisco. Actually, no, it's Oakland. Actually, not exactly television market powerhouses. And
now, I'm not gonna.
Whoa! Pump the brakes.
Are we talking
Gianni,
about
who had the cheating dynasty?
I'm gonna say these talking about the Patriots.
The Patriots.
Oh, I thought he was talking about something like wasn't the Texas Rangers partner? That was Houston Astros.
But see, like to me, last year, I knew the Bucks weren't going to win the Super Bowl last year.
Mm-hmm.
I was really hoping for a Buffalo-Detroit Super Bowl.
I was too.
I was pulling for Detroit, and I would have been good with Buffalo too.
Yeah, because neither team has ever won it. So, that's cool. I don't need to see the same shit over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if your team is a dynasty, that's one thing.
Right.
Obviously everybody wants their team to win, but nobody else in the country wants to see the same teams win it over and over and over and over again.
I would say most people are cool with, a team that hasn't won one, winning 2, maybe 3, but after that they turn on. You're like, all right, fuck these guys. It's time for somebody else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Kansas City was America's sweetheart. And
absolutely.
Now this year.
But see, what drives me nuts is, and this is in the NFL, teams start to get away with shit, because it's Taylor Swift's team now. So the NFL is all on this shit because of Taylor Swift. You got a damn offensive tackle that false starts every play. It's never called. You got Patrick Mahomes. He threw 14 interceptions and 12 of them were called back.
Yep.
And like, what are we doing? There's no way that those numbers are right.
Yeah, they will ride nuts.
If anybody even breathes on Patrick Mahomes while he's near the boundary, it's a penalty.
Yep.
So, like, let's just let him play, man. So, it's just, you still will never be able to convince me that Buffalo didn't get a first down on that one call at the end of their playoff game. So, why there's not a chip in a football or anything like that? I mean, this is a billions of dollar sports league.
Sure.
But it's just, I mean, we don't need dynasties in sports to make sports work.
I agree with that.
The LA Dodgers just won the World Series. They won another one a few years ago against my Rays. I don't want to see the LA Dodgers win another World Series this year.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers are dangerously close to having the rest of the country turn on them. I think the reason why they haven't yet is because they have so many fun players. And until these last two World Series, they've got, what was it, 21 in last year?
They won 2020 in last year.
I don't think they had any since like 1989. So
it's been a while.
Yeah. So, I mean, you build up some goodwill there, but
baseball can't be doing this. Baseball needs to have a salary cap.
Yeah, absolutely.
And baseball needs to have a salary floor.
Yes.
And it stops shit like what the Pirates do every year.
And the
Rockies. The Rockies are doing right now. And the White Sox. And my team, who actually wins, but they're notorious for having very low payroll. You have to pay these guys and actually put together teams that are worth something.
Right.
So, and then, I mean, but all they'll do is, I'll pay one guy a bunch of money. But you can't, like, what LA's doing right now with deferring payments till the year 2187. Bullshit.
Yes.
Your payroll should be your payroll. And if you want to pay Shohei Ohtani $80 million a year, then that's part of your freaking salary cap.
Yep.
And hey, when he messes up and y'all catch him gambling on baseball, you can't throw his translator under the bus. I mean,
but it's the same thing. But
y'all did it to Pete Rose.
I mean, I can tell you, I'm probably not going to watch much of the NBA Finals. No, and it's not because it's the Pacers and the Thunder. It's because I think the NBA sucks.
The NBA, they have a bad on-court product right now.
So I don't like the guy for the Thunder who flops all over the place.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
That shit annoys me. And, I don't like the fact, and it's always been like this, but it's time the NBA needs to allow some sort of zone defense. These guys need to be able to play defense. And the fact that you can't play zone defense in the NBA is dumb. But the fact that you also can flop all over the place and get fouls called when nobody's even remotely near you, that shit should be reviewed, and it should be a damn technical foul.
Yes.
Because it's unsportsmanlike. Get rid of it. Get that shit out of the game. You want to know why I always make fun of soccer? Because they do that bull crap.
And what happened to traveling?
And yeah, I mean, there's guys taking 4 and 5 steps. For Christ's sake, what are we doing? If it's a turnover on my 11-year-old daughter's little girl league, it should be a damn turnover in the NBA because these guys should be better than that.
I agree. We're hitting all the same notes here.
So, I mean, but the odds are not looking good for this finals.
I don't have the ratings in front of me, but I would be willing to I'd be willing to say college basketball is getting better ratings than the NBA.
I mean, rivalry games probably. And we go on a whole other tangent about rivalry games anymore in college sports, but the NCAA tournament is a draw by itself. It
says the NBA season saw a decline in regular season viewership, with the average audience across national networks, ABC, ESPN, and TNT, being 1.53 million viewers.
That's substantial.
That's where everybody's calling bullshit on AEW and their numbers from Max, saying we're getting 500,000 from Max. No, the fuck you aren't, because the NBA is getting 50,000.
Mm-hmm.
So you're not. Now let's see. So NBA ratings is 1.53 million. NCAA basketball. It's not going to really say, but like, I mean, you talk about, let's see, NCAA basketball, your big game, Duke, UNC. There's no bigger game.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
March 25th, the season's second edition of Duke UNC got over 3 million. So, I mean, and you talk about college football, it's dominating, dude. It's killing NBA numbers.
Oh, yeah. Well, there has to be some sort of self-reflection and self-admittance for, the NBA to admit fault here. Because, and here's NBA's backfall. Internationally, they're doing phenomenal. But domestically, I would say NBA is losing interest because, like Dave said, if I wanted to watch a team throw up 73 threes a game, I would just go watch the rec league game for free. Like, I don't, that shit is terrible. Again, I grew up in watching basketball in a time where, Fine Water, you and I have discussed this, where they had at least one guy in every team that was just there to commit felonious assault.
Yeah.
Kurt Rambis, Bill Lambier, Kevin McHale. That was their job. And, Rodman, probably the most famous one. But again, now we've gotten to the point you can't even hand check anyone anymore. And it's like, again, and I grew up a Reggie Miller fan. I watched the premier 3-point shooter in the 90s. And this is trash, what's happening now. And
so let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. Dave, the NBA Eastern Finals deliver strong TV ratings, but the West is struggling.
It was Oklahoma City and Minnesota, by the way.
The Knicks and Pacers averaged 7.1 million viewers Sunday on TNT. Pacers won game 4, yada, yada, yada. The Timberwolves and Thunder, 5.3 million, 5.6 million. They're averaging around 5 million a game. This year's NCAA tournament was down from last year's. The turnout window, or the turnout per window for March Madness this year, 9.4 million.
Oh. And I talked to Timmy about it here on the show before. I think that when it was still Oklahoma City and Minnesota, and then Indiana and the Knicks, I said, for one, the Pacers, the Knicks have been a rivalry going back to the 90s. Watching Ewing and Miller and all them go against each other. Yeah, you had the triangle of the Bulls, the Pacers, and the Knicks. Whoever came out of that series was going to make it to the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
And I said that the interesting story is Oklahoma City and Minnesota still looking for their first title. Oklahoma City's been to one NBA Finals. Minnesota's been in none. And they've been a team since 1989, same year as the Heat. And then Indiana, they have a title, but they won it in the ABA in like 1974. And the Knicks, one of the cornerstone franchises of the NBA, they haven't won an NBA title since 1973. So you had captivating stories there. But again, Indiana and the Knicks is a rivalry going back 30 years, whereas the Thunder have only been a team since 2004. And the Timberwolves never make the playoffs ever. So no one ever takes Minnesota seriously. So it's not that it's two small market teams. It's just that those two franchises don't have any equity with fans. So no one's going to take them seriously. And also, if I'm an NBA player, because they did like the underground survey, whatever, they voted Tyrese Halliburton overwhelmingly as the most overrated player in the NBA.
That's bullshit.
If you voted for that, you should have to identify yourself because you're a fucking dumbass. And it also explains the mindset. Tyrese Halliburton doesn't do that flopping shit. That dude plays his ass off. But it explains the mindset of Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, I think, is a phenomenal basketball player, but the flopping thing is ridiculous. And like, so to think he's better than Tyrese Halliburton is crazy as well. I think Tyrese Halliburton is going to become like the next star in the NBA. I don't think he's going to be ever the star, but I think he's going to be the next one.
But this one is the odds of this being highly rated, not good, because there are very high odds in terms of the favorite to win. So the most lopsided odds in NBA Finals history. 2001 was your most lopsided ever. The Los Angeles Lakers were minus 2,000 against the Philadelphia 76ers.
It was 2000,
Lakers,
what was it? 2002?
2001.
Another one, okay.
Lakers won 4-1.
That was Kobe and
76ers
Shaq.
Kobe and Shaq. Lakers won 4-1. Sixers won the first game with Allen Iverson and then lost the rest.
Oh, minus. Never mind. I thought you said plus. I was like, what?
Minus 2,000. So
I can't name anyone else on that team other than Allen Iverson.
Yeah, exactly. 2018. The Warriors and Cavaliers. The Warriors were minus 1,075 favorites. They won 4-0. 1996, Bulls and Supersonics. Bulls minus 950. They won 4-2. 99, Spurs and Knicks. Spurs minus 900. They won 4-1. 2000, Lakers and Pacers. The Lakers were favorites minus 800. Won 4-2. 2002, the Lakers and Nets. The Lakers were minus 750. They won 4-0. 2025, the Thunder and Pacers. The Thunder are minus 700 to win the series. The only one that counted, 2004, the Lakers and Pistons. Lakers were minus 700. Pistons won 4-1 over the Lakers. And in 1986, the Celtics and Rockets. Celtics were minus 700 and won 4-2.
I'm okay with Indiana winning it.
I'm not going to sit here and say that Indiana is as good as that Pistons team from 2004, but they remind me a lot of it. Now, granted, they don't have a Ben Wallace because you're not allowed to do that anymore, but they're a very good wing team, just like the Pistons were. And they had a lot of underrated guys. The Pistons had no one had heard of Richard Hamilton.
Rip Hamilton. Who's that?
Yeah.
I mean, Ben Wallace was just a rebound and blocking machine.
Yeah.
Because Rasheed Wallace was your main presence inside on that team.
Chauncey Billups.
Chauncey Billups. So this was the kind of, at the end of the Pistons' little run, that's kind of when I quit watching. And then basketball just got stupid. So I'm so not a fan of the NBA. And there's better basketball out there. And I think one of the reasons why they won the gold medal, but one of the reasons why Team USA struggles mightily now in world competition is because these other guys know how to play freaking defense.
Yeah.
Well, they're allowed to play defense.
Yeah. So there's got to be defense in basketball. If you just let these guys chuck up, I mean, like I've said before, over Christmas, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law were at my house, and he was betting on a game. So we turned it on, and between the two teams, they shot 100 3-pointers.
That's stupid.
What are we doing?
Again, according to the analytics, the 3-point shot, you get one more point for the trouble, but whatever. But like, what I don't understand why mid-range jumpers are not a thing anymore.
Michael Jordan lived in the mid-range. So
did Tim Duncan. Like, they made a career off of it. And I just don't understand when they're like, you know what? You just take 2 steps back. That's a 3 now. What?
I mean, the worst thing they could ever do is add a 4-pointer because people would be chucking them bastards up all day long.
I remember the first time when I kind of realized that we were in trouble as like old heads watching basketball. And this was like 05 or 06. And I saw Zildrunas Sogowski shoot a 3, like on purpose.
Mhm.
Like it wasn't like the shot clock was almost out. That was the play. He shot a 3 from the corner. I'm like, oh no. For those of you who don't know who Zydrunas Sogowskis is, he was the center on LeBron's Cavaliers. He was 7'2". And like back again in the 90s, that didn't happen. There was a few rarities, but not many, like Sam Perkins. But Sam Perkins was 6'8", and he had the ugliest shot in NBA history.
I don't know,
But
Bill Cartwright.
And Bill Cartwright's is pretty bad. But Sam Perkins went completely behind his head, which I've never seen before.
I love
yeah, I
Sam
mean, it's
Perkins.
Basketball now is not the basketball that we all grew up with. Now, granted, we're a bunch of old heads,
We are.
but this shit sucks.
Mhm.
And so,
Yeah, I can't even stand talking to today's basketball fans because they'll say some stupid shit like LeBron's the GOAT.
Which is that's absurd.
Yeah. And I'm like, we all know he's not.
LeBron can command a moment. Jordan commanded the game,
Yes.
all of it. But again, if you go back to, Jordan's probably, well, I won't say probably, one of his top 3 famous shots is the one he hit over Brian Russell to win. I think it was number 6 because it was the last shot he made. It was the last shot he took as a bowl. And like it was a phenomenal shot, but he also got away with the biggest push off in NBA history. Just shoved Brian Russell out of bounds and then shot it from the elbow for the win. But when you're that big a star, you get away with those calls, and that's still a thing, mind you. Now, granted,
you think?
That's a pretty egregious call to get away with, all things considered. But there's a difference between creating contact. Again, I use that term loosely in the Jordan case, to get open for a shot, and creating no contact and just going down like you've been shot.
yeah, I just can't do that crap.
What makes it even worse, like if I did that in an NBA game and I got away with it, I'm like, dude, that was awesome. I can't believe I got away with that. But then I would go in the locker room and see my phone, and they play it in slow motion. I'd be like, oh, I can never do that again. Whoa, that's embarrassing. They don't care. They just keep doing it.
Yeah. It's not good, man. It's just not good.
No.
I can't do it. That's why I can't get into soccer. You know what sport that I have started watching recently? Hockey.
Shut up.
Yep.
Field soccer for 4 years. Now you're like, I'm going to watch
Ice soccer. I am getting into
cool.
ice soccer.
Hockey's
I don't
a great sport.
understand the rules yet.
Well, once
takes
you
a
go
while.
to a game, you go to games, but I mean, once you start understanding icing, then you understand offsides.
Icing and offside
Hey, I've
is the
been
most
watching-
difficult too.
I've been watching hockey since 1993, and I still don't know why they call the stuff they call and why they don't call the stuff that they don't call. Because
I think
it looks like a penalty is not.
There
The stuff
shouldn't be
doesn't look like a penalty is.
icing and all that, man. That's just go score. Doesn't matter.
But first
There
thing you have to
shouldn't
do
be
is you have to look up north and you have to acknowledge the Minnesota Wild for inventing the sport. I don't think it's factual, but their fans seem to think it is, and they hang tight to that.
Oh Lord. So I was watching. So my boss is a big Dallas Stars fan.
Okay.
I like.
So he's
your
like,
boss.
hockey's the greatest sport there is. You have to watch this. I'm like,
Good
all right, I'm going to
luck,
check it out. So of course they win game 1 and then proceed to lose the next 4.
Yeah, they played.
But dude,
they were
I'm
boys
so-
among men that whole series.
But hearing the crowd, they are so into it.
Yes.
That's what makes sports great. This Gianni guy must not know me. Dude, I'm always drunk. That's what we do.
Hey, but I just want to say that the fans in Edmonton can suck on an appendage.
Oh.
I'm pulling for Florida, and they got
Yeah.
Chuck. That just tells you how bad I don't like y'all in Edmonton. So y'all lose, and then go put your ass in the snow. And
I want to see Florida win just because I think it's awesome that a team from Canada hasn't won the Stanley Cup since 1993.
I hope they don't win one until 33-93.
I hope they lose that year too. So
That's just statistically impossible, I think. But I understand what you're saying.
I am what's known as a sore loser. Their fans are dickheads. They are. I mean, one of our guys, Rupe Hintz, went down with a slash, and he goes down. Oh, he's embellishing. And then the son of a bitch misses 2 games, but he's embellishing.
Mhm.
Man, get the fuck out of here.
Every sport has them. In basketball, it's 76ers. I remember them cheering Joakim Noah getting hurt back in the day, and I swore I would hate the 76ers for the rest of my life. But I'm a Blackhawks fan. And I will tell you, when I was growing up, even as I was a young adult, and you would hear during the national anthem, you would hear the Blackhawks crowd just cheer through the whole thing. And I always thought that was disrespectful as shit.
Yeah.
And then I went to my first Blackhawks game, and I fucking cried during the national anthem. I can't explain it. The energy is off the charts for the national anthem. I cried the first time I went to a Blackhawks game.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you what. In Edmond, I'll give Edmonton's crowd. I'll give them the credit for this. Their guy sang the national anthem, the Star Spangled Banner, and when it was done, he just started singing "Go Canada," and he didn't sing but like just a few lines of it, and the crowd took over. He just went like that, and the crowd sang "Oh Canada," loud, proud, and beautiful. I'm getting chill bumps, not them fake like The Rock. I mean, this is real.
It.
I'm telling you, I got chill bumps for the way the Canadian crowd sang their national anthem. It was beautiful, man. I mean, fuck those guys. Fuck those guys. But it was beautiful.
That little hockey tournament thing they had when the Canadian fans were booing the U.S. national anthem, dude, that shit, to me, that was funny.
It was funny.
Well, and that's why Florida wins.
I'm as patriotic as it
It was
gets.
funny, and he dropped the gloves and whooped some ass.
Well, that's awesome. That's what you do.
Called a rivalry.
And see, that's why I'm starting to like hockey, because these guys will go at it, and you go sit down for a couple minutes, and then you come right back in. Like the fact that football players can't fight. What are we doing? Well, you're thrown out of the football game. You got into a fight.
And then when they would lose,
dude, this is the hardest hitting sport there is. What do you
but
mean?
Then
you
after
can't
Game
fight?
7, they're in a handshake line like a bunch of kids, and they're hugging each other and congratulating. I mean, the sportsmanship, and I should have that type of sportsmanship towards those assholes in Edmonton, but I don't.
Yeah,
I've always said I've seen
no Panthers.
4 or 5 Blackhawks games now in
Damn right.
Chicago. I absolutely want to see a hockey game in Toronto, and I want to see one in Montreal.
I bet those to Canada to watch hockey. That sounds.
I am, but because I bet you those 2 fan bases get just lit for their games.
Dude, they all do. I'm from Tampa. The Tampa Bay Lightning, if it's hockey season, they are the talk of the town, dude.
Mm-hmm. It's because they're actually good.
Love those guys, and they are good, but they are loved. And the crowd, the crowd, that's what I'm really enjoying about this at Carolina, at Florida, in Edmonton, in Dallas, in Tampa. The crowds are going insane.
Keep
the
your
whole
eye
game.
on Carolina. Carolina's going to be a good team in the next couple years.
I need to go up next year. I'm going to take the family. We're going to go up to Nashville, and we're going to go to a game.
Hey, I went to a game in Nashville during COVID, right at the end of COVID, and we were allowed to buy tickets because we're in Mississippi. We're considered Nashville market, and they were limiting how many people could go to the games, and you had to be in market to buy tickets. Just so happens that we were going to Nashville for my birthday, and the Stars were there playing. So I got to go see my team play in their barn, and their fans were so nice to us, even though we were wearing the Stars jerseys and we kicked their ass. It was just I'm
gonna go when the
fun
Lightning
atmosphere,
play next year. When
nice
the Lightning
building.
and Predators play next year, I'm going. I'm now a diehard Lightning fan.
I'll go when the Blackhawks play.
I can't even name one player, but they're my favorite team.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you about the Blackhawks fans. They travel well. They'll get on Southwest and fly down to Dallas and watch games. Now, when they're getting their ass kicked, they'll leave early.
Well, yeah,
But
we ain't sticking around, dude.
but they're also fun fans to sit around.
This is a team. This is a city that has the Cubs. We're not sticking around all night for that shit.
Speaking of
Speaking of that, they're fun to sit with. They're not. It's not ugly.
Yeah. Speaking of which, It's time people grow the hell up at sporting events and have fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are we doing? You guys are making it so other people from, the other fans are uncomfortable or whatever. I had season tickets to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers for years and years and years and years. You know what I never did? I never got into a fight with an opposing fan
Or the same fan.
or one of my own team's fans.
Yeah,
You
you
know
gotta leave people alone, and it's sad when they don't do that.
But you go and have fun, man.
Yeah.
Like I travel, I just went to Ireland to go watch Florida State play. And then, I lived up in Illinois. So I went to a Bucks game in Chicago. I went to the Bucks game in Minnesota. I went to a Bucks game in Indy. Chicago, almost got into a fight because the guy was being a dick.
Yeah, Chicago fans could be rough.
Minnesota, no issues, had a blast. Indy, everybody at Indy couldn't have been any nicer. Bucks won on a great game, but everybody was great. I don't understand why you have to be nasty to opposing sports fans just because they're at your house.
I will tell you.
You can have fun, and everybody always likes to talk about like, oh, I like to go to this stadium because the fans are really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't like to go to this stadium. The fans are dicks. That sucks, man. You can't why can't you just go and have fun?
I mean, I used to go to NASCAR, and there was a guy. I was all decked out in my Dale Jr. gear, and he was all decked out in his Rusty Wallace gear. And
NASCAR fans are the best.
But I mean, I'm over there cooking sausages and stuff, and he's over there cooking steaks, and he's trading me steaks for jalapeno cheddar sausages. So
I've done that with ribs.
I mean, and I had him in my phone for years,
and that's how it's supposed to be. That's how it's supposed to be. Like, go have fun and watch your team, and it's fun. You can playfully jab and do things like that. Like, but being nasty to people, like at some point, you need to grow the hell up. And these are damn adults doing this shit.
Right. I remember the one Bears game I've ever been to was in 2015. It was the year I got married. It was a wedding present, December. We played San Francisco. And this was the year of the kneeling that was happening. This is unrelated to that. I just wanted to give you a time frame. So, well, you can make sure all you want. It's still going to happen if they want to bad enough. So,
Gianni, are you familiar with Mike Bober and where he sits?
Mike Bober. So,
maybe you could go and escort him into the concourse and just ask him a bunch of bogus questions like 6 times during the game.
You should. Yeah, all of that. So there's me and my cousin David and our 2 wives. And next to us, and we're sitting corner end zone, and 2 seats next to us are there's a father and son, and the dad was in his 70s and the son was my age, They're from San Francisco wearing their 49ers ship. So, like, somehow that got brought up. I'm like, why are you coming to Chicago to watch the 49ers? And this was also the first year they opened up the brand new stadium in Santa Clara. And he said it is actually cheaper with the new stadium to fly to the away games than it is to watch them at home.
Wow.
Holy shit. But as the game's going on, there's Bears fans 6 row back of them just fucking heckling them the whole time. To the point I stood up and I told them either shut your fucking mouth or I'm going to go up there and whip your ass. To hell with them. Like, leave them alone. I'm going to come whip your ass.
I had a similar experience at NASCAR because Earnhardt fans were screwing with me wearing Jeff Gordon jacket. The first
you
year,
deserve that then.
Well,
you do deserve that.
Yeah, but Jeff Gordon's still here, and so scoreboard.
Wow. Wow.
But the thing was, I was wearing my Jeff Gordon jacket, and I was wearing my Junior hat. I like Junior.
Yeah.
And I was going to phase out of Gordon into Junior, but they were just so relentless with it, and it was kind of one of them deals that, I was going to knock shit out of them, so I just got it and walked around.
Mm-hmm.
But there's no reason to be that way.
No.
Now, I will say, though, the next year, I could not wait for Texas, and I was hoping them same assholes were going to be sitting behind me. But I probably wouldn't have said anything.
But since that one day, that is still the only Bears game I've ever been to. I will not go back.
Really?
I'm a diehard Bears fan. Yeah. That should just piss me off There was other things too, like the guys next to me. They had their buddies sitting next to me, and they snuck in like those IV bags through their pants so they could drink the whole time. Which also stop doing that shit too. Be adults about it. And by the way, this is a noon kickoff, and this guy next to me is just housed, like to the point he would forget to fold his chair out and just fall on the concrete. So I'm sitting there like folding the seat out and helping him in the chair. I look at him and go, "Hey, why the fuck am I doing this? Why aren't you guys doing this?" So all of those things combined, I haven't been to a Bears game since. And then you see all these videos online of like all these fan fights happening. It's like, okay, apparently I don't want to go.
It's just, I mean, people have got to get it together.
I'm not going to take my kids. I can tell you that.
And it's every team.
Yeah.
Every team. There's not like, oh no, all of you.
Every team has one.
I got into it at a baseball game in front of my grandparents and my mother. I was watching a game in Tampa, the Tampa Bay Rays versus the Boston Red Sox. And I got into it with a New York Yankees fan talking shit and running his mouth to fans at a game where his team's not even playing. Like, what are you doing?
Oh.
Take your shit elsewhere.
Yeah.
You know, I don't get it. People are stupid, man. It's sports. Sports are supposed to be fun.
Yes.
And yes, we're all fans. We all have our teams, whatever, but what are we doing?
In my 40 years of watching sports, and yes, I'm 40 years old, but in all those years of watching sports, I've never almost been in a fight over my sports teams. I remember going to a Cubs doubleheader with the Brewers, and I was in front row center, and the Brewers fans were behind me. It was like 6 of them. There was 2 of us, like a bunch of married couples. And the Brewers fans could not have been nicer people. And they won both games in the doubleheader, mind you. They could have been dicks. They were like, you know, buying each other like the ice cream and the baseball helmets. Like, it was a very enjoyable day actually with them guys. And you don't. I'll go to a Cubs game tomorrow. You don't hear about Wrigley very often. Like, there's been a couple incidents this year, but you don't hear about Wrigley too often. Usually it's a pretty great place to watch a baseball game. I'll go back and watch the Cubs in a minute. I'd go to Indy and watch a Pacers game. I'd go watch a Bulls game in Chicago. The Bears, I'm not in a big hurry to go back and watch. I'll go watch a Blackhawks game. No problem. But I don't know why football is such a different monster than every other sport, but it is, and it's dumb.
But you see stuff on Twitter all the time of people getting in absolute barn burners with each other.
It's football, and then I would say hockey's second.
You see a lot of baseball.
See, I see more people getting turtled.
Well, this whole conversation got brought. There's a huge brawl today in San Diego at the Padres game.
Who are they playing?
It was Padres fans fighting Padres fans.
Never mind.
What are we doing?
Well,
so, I mean, it's just this. People need to grow up.
Well, why don't we pivot and talk about a little wrestling?
Let's talk wrestling quick and call it a night.
Wrestling.
Big news of the day.
R-Truth and Carlito gone.
WWE decided not to renew the contracts on R-Truth and Carlito.
Carlito, I'm not surprised about.
Carlito, he's already won the WWC championship last night in Puerto Rico.
He did what?
He won the
WWC. Okay.
World Wrestling Council.
Right.
So his daddy done put the belt back on him.
Carlito, I'm not surprised. Carlito's done nothing for 2 years.
He hasn't been used at all. So the fact that they even brought him in,
he's just been good for backstage segments and getting pops coming out in great shape and good for him that he got a check. But the days of keeping all these extra guys when their contracts are up now, I mean, everybody wants to get mad that they didn't renew R-Truth, and honestly, I don't really understand it because I think there's a lot of value to R-Truth, but the days of there's a lot to be said. They didn't cut his contract. They just let it expire. They chose not to renew it.
Right.
Kids, TKO is running the show, not WWE, not Triple H.
Well, that's the thing.
TK
People are saying, "Fuck you, Triple H." But dude, Triple
Ain't
H
got
ain't
nothing to do
making
with
this decision. No.
TKO is doing this because TKO is they're not in the entertainment business. They're not in the wrestling business. They're not in the fight promoting business.
Right.
They sell stocks and they create market share and they create content to stimulate the stock price and satisfy the shareholders. And you have to control your expenses to keep your profit margins up to satisfy your shareholders.
Correct.
So the days of keeping, man, we love this guy. He's been here for 20 years. Well, he ain't no more. And you could make an argument that R-Truth just sold a shitload of merchandise as Ron Cena.
Mm-hmm.
But he probably hadn't in a while. But I guarantee you they sold more 24/7 belts when he was the 24/47 Highway 67 7-Eleven champion. When he was doing all that, R-Truth is a gift. And I look forward to the 3 weeks they'll feature him on AEW before you don't see him anymore.
We were just talking about this earlier today, our group chat, and we are talking about, Ron getting released, and you do see people lashing out on Twitter really about wrestling more than any other sport I've ever seen. It's not even close. And the immediate reaction is, like you said, fuck Triple H, which is hilarious again if you know how hierarchy works. But if you really think about it, Triple H probably knew this was coming. And like I told you guys, that explains why you had the world title match at Saturday Night's Main Event then.
Yep.
That was Triple H rewarding him before he left.
Yeah, and he's going to be okay.
Yeah, he's going to be fine.
And Carlito's going to be fine, and there's going to be others. And why would we be more upset that a small market like Jackson, Mississippi is not going to get a house show?
Yeah,
they were getting 2 a
really
year,
sucks.
and they may not even get 1 a year anymore.
And the ticket prices, for God's sakes.
Yeah, you got to hire the draft snatch. You can't afford them no more.
But R-Truth had been with the company this last run 17 years, since 08.
Yeah.
And he did 3 from 99 to 01. So in total, he'd been with the company for 20 years.
And he's 53 years old.
He's 53. And how do we know R-Truth wasn't ready to hang it up?
I mean, he may just
and how do we know
around.
R-Truth doesn't get some other job with WWE?
Well, he
or
does
something
music.
else? Right.
It's not his only gig. He's been afforded a very healthy salary to do very little.
Yeah.
So
I mean, I could see him being an ambassador for the company or something.
But
like
there's
that.
also
Definitely.
what people need to understand is there's also a lot of up and coming talent
a ton.
that's going to be coming to this main roster.
Mm-hmm.
and
You got to make room for them somehow.
Well, they just announced 2, and Mariah May's on her way now.
And look at this, and look at the business model. They announced New Orleans for WrestleMania, and then they went, "Nope, got a better deal."
Yeah,
That-
I guarantee
that
you,
was crazy.
Vegas offered them much more money, so they took it.
And this isn't Vince's company anymore. And for as evil as everybody wants to think Vince, I mean Vince, I'm not taking up for Vince. Vince has always been and always be the villain in my wrestling story. But when Vince would have never announced a venue and then pulled it for no money.
Well,
Vince isn't going to advertise. I mean, Vince wouldn't advertise on the camp. There was something Vince would do. No, I'm just saying, we know he did a lot of things for the money, but what I'm saying is he wouldn't have ever announced that New Orleans for WrestleMania and then said, no, we changed our mind, not next year.
right. He never did do that, but WrestleMania 7, he did pull out of
Well, he didn't sell
the
enough
Rose
tickets,
Bowl.
so that's
Exactly.
different.
But he went from the Rose Bowl to the LA Sports.
And he had the
Coliseum.
built-in safety concerns
Right.
excuse. So,
But Gianni in the chat here is asking what's Natalia's status. As far as I know, Natalia's still with the company.
He just
They're just
re-signed.
Yeah, they're just letting her do this tour thing. My guess, I haven't really paid attention to it. My guess is Natty is working with the WWE ID people. I don't know that though.
and she's getting to work the NWA and some of these other Bloodsport and by letting her do that,
And Vince would never.
No.
well, Vince probably would though, because they lost a $20 million lawsuit to MLW for having a monopoly. And if they're letting their talent go do other stuff now, they won't, They're not going to. They won't slip on a banana peel and get caught again like that. Hard to argue that we got a monopoly when we're letting our people work for your people. That's probably why they're so buddy with TNA.
Well, I think that the monopoly thing came with them removing MLW from Tubi or whatever. That's where it really stemmed from. Is, hey, you want us, get rid of
But the
them.
fans, Natty getting to go. I mean, what Natty did with the NWA was very entertaining. What Natty did with Bloodsport was very entertaining.
You need more of that. I mean, I always wished back in the day we could have got a WCW and WWF pay-per-view.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't work because, I mean, it's, it's not real.
And
But
can I touch on one other thing before we get off here?
Yeah.
I'm not bagging on AEW. Not bagging on AEW by this. I'm not riding WWE's nuts or anything. There's lots of people that are upset about the counter programming that WWE is doing. When you go to Home Depot, what's normally across the street?
Lowe's.
When you go to CVS, what's normally across the street?
Walgreens.
When you go to a gas station, a Circle K, there's a racetrack across the street. There's a 7-Eleven across the street from Wawa. I'm just saying that these businesses build across from each other, trying to get the rub off of each other. Because if they're close together, the customer wins. They got a 50-50 shot that you will buy that come over there, or maybe they're out of something and they'll catch you. And that's what I'm saying is it's competition. Once upon a time, there was a company named WCW that WWF didn't take serious, and they got their dick knocked in the dirt and they almost went out of business.
Correct.
Now, while Triple H may stand on a stage and tell Billy Gunn that Vince McMahon will buy that little pissant company and fire you again as a joke, they will move mountains to make sure that AEW does not get the foothold that WCW had. The monster that is the juggernaut that's the WWE is not going to allow any company to become any kind of significant competition to them.
Well, and my whole thing with it all is it seems AEW's been around 6 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
And their fan base is pretty much set in stone.
Mm-hmm.
I know for myself, huge wrestling fan, whether WWE is running Saturday Night's Main Event the same day as All In Texas, I ain't watching All In Texas anyway. And
I don't
people aren't. And it's not like they put two things on pay-per-view where you got to buy them both.
Well, let's not.
You can watch one, and they're at different times. You can watch.
Everybody's going to watch everything.
Yeah,
if they were predisposed to watch them.
Right.
And I don't know that you win anymore by actually you getting the live views. I would watch.
It's everything now is.
I would watch
like Peacock. Who gives a shit? Or Raw on Netflix. Who cares what the Monday is? I don't always watch Raw on Monday. I'll watch it later.
It's I don't want to stay up that late most nights.
Yeah.
Right.
So I mean, and if it's on Peacock, like I was gone last
dude.
weekend, so
for as much as I don't like AEW television, I love AEW pay-per-view. They do pay-per-view right, but it's hard for me to pay $50 and sit on front of a screen for 6 hours and watch it. I'm tired.
Yeah.
But by doing an afternoon show, I love it when WWE's overseas and they do the afternoon shows.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my nights free. But
The best thing they ever did was move
on
their
a
shit to
Sunday
Saturdays.
night.
I love it on Saturdays.
Yeah.
You're going to do a pay-per-view on Sunday night and you're going to put me in bed by midnight and I got to get up at 4. But now I realize I am not AEW's target audience. And I've really aged out of being WWE's target audience. But I just say all that to say that is there some pettiness on WWE's part to counter program? Of course
Absolutely.
there is. Of course there is, because
To your point, is that petty or is that business?
Yeah, but there's some petty too, because Tony Khan was and I checked to make sure that it had been said that Tony Khan refers to them as competition for the WWE. and you fire enough shots at them, and I mean, you can only so often, and then they'll show. I mean, you keep chirping, they're going to show you how big a boy they are.
Well, here's my whole thing about all this, because this is not the first time this has happened. It will not be the last, for the record. And you know, the if you look on social media with the fan bases, it's, you know, I can't believe AEW would do something like this. Again, you fuckers weren't going to survive the 80s, for one, because that shit happened all the time.
Yeah.
And two, you know, I listened to press conferences where he keeps referring to himself as David Crockett with more money. So they're not going to be able to do to me what they do to David Crockett, but yet I'm still going to sit here and bitch because they're counter-programming my events. Then what are you going to do about it?
I'm
Either
hoping
do something or shut up.
I'm hoping that WWE's cutting of talent, raising of prices, cutting of access to seeing live events, the corporate greed that TKO is. I mean, that's the business model.
Oh, they're due for a
and
new
I'm not even faulting it. I got no problem with making money.
Make as much
But what
as
I'm
you
saying
can
is,
while
I'm
you can.
hoping that this stuff they're doing, I hope it baby faces AEW to where they'll get a little of that momentum they had when they started. I'm pulling for AEW. There's a lot of independent wrestlers that make a very good living thanks to AEW. And Tony Khan said it's not a matter of money, but it's what I said about TKO and satisfying shareholders. Warner Brothers Discover, or whatever they're calling it this week, they got the same thing. They've got to satisfy shareholders, but what makes their stock prices move is that they have to have content for streaming. I mean, we're probably 1 or 2 star ratings away from having a show on their network because they need content. So you can be proud that you've been on these networks for so long and you've outlasted Crockett and outlasted Turner, but it's a different ball game because back then it was ratings on a television with executives that were embarrassed to have wrestling in their portfolio, and now they'll put any friggin' thing on their streaming services trying to get eyeballs to watch it because you got to. It's all about content. It's all about streaming.
It's going to be the same way. It's going to be why, you know, WWE either stays with Peacock or moves to Netflix. It's all about the content that they provide.
I believe they've already announced that they will remain on
I think they're going to
in
stay
the United
Peacock.
States.
Yeah.
And
So, but it's just, and I mean, AEW, I was stoked for
I was too.
because I did not think WWE was good at the time.
Yeah, but I wanted somebody to seriously take a run at Vince. Vince is gone.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
that's true.
AEW just has not drawn me in at all. I've
Nope.
tried, and I don't do the flippy dippy shit.
And Pond
It's
Water,
not
you
my
and I
bag.
disagree. I think their pay-per-views are ass. I am
I mean,
not going to let my.
How
I'm
many
not
have you
going to.
watched?
A lot. I've been to 3. And
How many
I'm
have
not
you
gonna,
watched in the last 6 months?
I watched one with you.
Oh, you didn't
I'm-
enjoy it?
No, and I will tell you why.
The cinder
I'm not
block
gonna-
to the head
Yeah,
and the needles.
I
not
am not
my
going to.
bag.
Yeah, I didn't like cinder blocks and the needles, but I'm saying like 4 out of 6 were really good.
I'm not going to take my kids to an event where somebody's going to get stabbed in the face with a needle,
Yes,
or we got staple guns and we're staple people's tongues.
I don't like that shit, and I'm with
That's
you.
every pay-per-view.
I get uncomfortable. It's not, and I did during the Attitude Era. I did not like going. I didn't sit like when women, and I love when women lift their shirts. Don't get me wrong. I'm really into when women lift their shirts, but not in front of children.
Right.
And WWE got that way, and you know the Val Venus and the and the Lita and Edge deal on television. They got a little out there, and you're doing this in front of children, and it made me pretty uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I get uncomfortable about things that you're doing in front of children. And I didn't like the needles. I don't like staples. And it's there's a lot they don't do. And I understand I'm not their audience.
Right.
And but I want them to succeed.
I do
I
too.
want 'em
But
to.
I think what they're
And he
doing
ought to bring
is-
Vince McMahon in and show him how to beat him.
and I mean, but I think their audience is kind of peaked right now.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
until they make changes, I have no desire. I'm not buying a wrestling pay-per-view when I can watch what WWE's putting on for $9 a month
Mm-hmm.
and have access to everything WWE.
Yeah, they got to get Honor Club.
Well, I told you guys the other day I was going to buy AEW till I realized it was $50. No, I'm not doing that.
I'll tell you off air why I do it, but
I watch NXT instead, and NXT was decent. There was, and we talked about there was some really dumb shit in NXT too. I'll call them both out. Just AEW does dumb shit far more than WWE does.
if we're all around Friday night, we ought to watch TNA this week.
Let's do it.
And
I'm in.
TNA's got a good product.
They've
I watched their
been on a roll
television show
lately.
the other night, and I really enjoyed it.
Well, it's
One last thing
9:30,
before we leave.
and
One
I
last
gotta
thing
put
before we
kids to
leave.
bed.
Yes. You guys notice I'm sporting a new look. I'm bald with this handsome mustache going on. There's a reason for that. So somebody at work took a picture of me the other day.
Whoo!
Yep.
Bro, gotta get rid of that shit now. So I'm bald now. It's just my life. I'm just bald guy now.
It's preemptive.
Nothing wrong with it, buddy.
I agree.
It's preemptive. I think I'm going to share a link with everybody. I was on a show Friday night in Florence, Mississippi, and I don't normally like ladder matches. And I don't normally like, I don't know. The ladder matches don't hit for me. When I tell you this wasn't a good ladder match, this was a great ladder match. I'm going to post it in our socials. I'm going to post the links. My good friend Samuel Whittington recorded it. And we had Simon Phillips, Frankie Thomas, Ray Fury, Vladimir Koloff, and the champion Wes Warren in this ladder match. And man, those guys tore it apart. It was
Vladimir Koloff related to Vladimir Kozlov?
I don't believe so.
Oh, okay. Well, they might be the Vlad brothers.
Oh, is that the is he like a 24-year-old kid?
No, Vladimir Koloff's not, and he's managed by the brilliant one, Brandon Turner, who thanks the world to you guys. He really wants y'all to come on his shows.
He was a cool dude. I liked him.
Brandon's great.
I didn't like
how
him
we
at
talked
first.
to the other day.
Yeah, but he talked a little too much shit at first to me. But I mean, we got over it. It was fine.
Yeah, but it was a great show. And there was a brain buster delivered in one of the earlier matches, and the guy that was giving the brain buster caught a knee to the eye.
Oh,
and I thought he dropped the guy on his head, and I'm checking him, and he goes, "Am I bleeding?" And I look at him, and I said, "No." And I'm watching his damn eye get bigger above his eye. It's like it's filling up, and I'm watching it grow. And you talk about freaking me the F out. And then I started busting open. It finally got so big. But I mean, he was goose egg like you wouldn't believe. And unfortunately, his tag team partner had to finish the match at a disadvantage, and they lost. But because it was for the inaugural tag team championships. But good night in Florence, Mississippi the other night. Shout out to Lost Art of Wrestling. And y'all make it a point to check out the video, and I'll have it posted. I'll have it posted here shortly on the on Mark. I'll link it to our Mark Out Moment Facebook. I'll link it to our Mark Out Moment X. I don't think I can link it to our YouTube.
Let's watch it. I'll watch it. TJ, we talked earlier today about some of the indie shows Dave goes and wrestles streaming to our YouTube here on markoutmoments.net with us doing a little bit of commentary.
Oh, I'm in.
I know.
I think you meant refs, by the way.
That he refs?
Yeah, you said wrestles.
Oh, I meant refs.
Yeah.
So we'll try and get that taken care of because I'm game to sponsor indie shows.
We used to do it all the time.
If they let us put it on our YouTube and do some commentary and have fun, I'll rep the shit out of it.
I mean, we're just short of 6,000 people. I'm pretty sure we can bring a pretty good audience to some of these people.
Yep. So with that being said,
I can get a tote real quick and tell you where we're at on our subscribers. We are now at 5,921. We have grown 20 since we started this broadcast tonight.
That is bananas.
Awesome. Love it. Thank you guys for joining us tonight here on Drunken Pop on Markout Moments, markoutmoments.net. Like and subscribe on YouTube. We'll see you soon.